Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are unpacking a major political talking point in South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa's controversial trip to the United States, and the fierce public defense launched by none other than ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. As the country faces mounting uncertainty on multiple fronts, ranging from economic anxiety, service delivery crises, and political disillusionment, many South Africans have begun to ask, where is the president? Why is he overseas at a time like this? Well, according to Mbalula, President Ramaphosa is exactly where he needs to be, on the global stage, defending the country's economic future and negotiating critical international partnerships. But critics aren't so easily convinced, especially given the opacity around the trip's exact purpose and the lack of a publicly released itinerary. In a press briefing held at Luthuli House, Mbalula made it clear, this is not a vacation. President Ramaphosa is not on holiday, he's in the US to fight for South Africa, he declared. So, what exactly is this fight all about? Let's break it down. Ramaphosa's visit to the United States comes at a sensitive moment. With uncertainty surrounding the renewal of AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, South Africa risks losing vital trade privileges that have allowed its exports to enter the US market duty-free. This would hit key sectors like agriculture, mining, and manufacturing hard. And it's not just about trade, this is about jobs, livelihoods, and the country's economic survival in a hostile global climate. Mbalula insisted that the president is working tirelessly to secure continued American investment and support. He's meeting with high-level US officials, multinational CEOs, and global partners to reassure them that South Africa remains open for business, and most importantly, committed to ethical and stable governance. But let's be honest. These trips are never without political implications. Ramaphosa's international engagements are happening while South Africa's foreign policy is being scrutinized globally, particularly its stance on international conflicts and alliances. From neutrality in the Russia-Ukraine war to vocal criticism of Western foreign policy in the Middle East, South Africa has made some powerful friends, and equally powerful enemies. Mbalula addressed this directly, saying Ramaphosa's trip is a strategic attempt to protect the country from economic retaliation based on geopolitical misinformation. According to him, the president is working hard to correct false narratives that could isolate South Africa economically or diplomatically. Critics would prefer the president to sit behind a desk and watch things unravel. That's not leadership, Mbalula asserted. Leadership means stepping onto the world stage and defending your country's interests. But this statement didn't sit well with many South Africans on social media. Some say the president should be focused on fixing Eskom, restoring confidence in the SAPs, and addressing rampant corruption, not flying across the world for high-level photo ops. However, Mbalula fired back, reminding citizens that international diplomacy and trade talks are directly tied to the country's internal stability. Without foreign investment, the economy contracts. Without global trade, job losses accelerate. He warned that losing favor with powerful economies like the United States would lead to dire consequences for ordinary South Africans. And he's not wrong. AGOA has been central to South Africa's trade policy for over 2 decades. According to industry estimates, more than 60,000 jobs are directly linked to AGOA benefits, especially in export-heavy sectors like citrus farming, auto manufacturing, and textiles. A breakdown in relations could leave those jobs hanging by a thread. Additionally, it's been reported, although not yet officially confirmed, that Ramaphosa's US meetings include discussions on climate financing, digital economy partnerships, and regional security cooperation. These are long-term investment areas critical for South Africa's development agenda, especially as the country aims to transition away from fossil fuels and toward renewable energy. But here's the sensitive part, many South Africans don't believe the president's overseas trips are bearing fruit. There's a growing sentiment that diplomacy without transparency only fuels public distrust. Critics argue that the government is quick to defend Ramaphosa's international role, but slow to release results. Where are the trade deals? Where are the job creation numbers? Why are key economic indicators still deteriorating? This skepticism isn't entirely unfounded. South Africa's economic growth has remained stagnant for years, and load shedding continues to cripple productivity. While Ramaphosa's foreign trips are framed as strategic, the perception on the ground is that leadership is disconnected from everyday struggles. In fact, this disconnect is one of the biggest political vulnerabilities the ANC faces ahead of the 2026 local government elections. With rising unemployment, increasing protest action, and deteriorating service delivery, the optics of a globetrotting president don't inspire confidence. But Mbalula had a message for those critics. When the president represents South Africa on the global stage, he carries all of us with him, he said. Let's not be the ones throwing stones from the sidelines. It's a call for unity, but one that might not land well in a climate of rising political cynicism. Still, from a strategic point of view, it's clear that the ANC is doubling down on foreign engagement as a tool to salvage both the economy and its reputation. Mbalula is positioning Ramaphosa not just as a domestic leader, but as a statesman, someone who navigates complex global waters to keep South Africa afloat. The big question is, will this strategy work? Can diplomatic efforts abroad truly compensate for domestic failures at home? Can international partnerships rescue a nation weighed down by crime, unemployment, and systemic corruption? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, Ramaphosa's visit to the US isn't just a headline. It's a litmus test for the ANC's global relevance and a reflection of the immense pressure the president is under. So, what do you think? Is this a necessary mission in defense of South Africa's economic survival, or just another distraction from the real issues back home? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a deep dive into South African politics. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.